Hello my dear friends, and welcome to my channel. My name is Barbara, and today we're going to be looking at Sun in the 8th house. So this video is for you if you have this particular placement. If you're a cross watcher, welcome as well. Also, this video can relate to those who do have Leo in the 8th house as well. So the Sun in our natal charts deals with our ego. It's our pride. It is what we get our pride from. It can also be our sense of self, our identity. It might be the area where we are looking for that applause in, that validation. Also, the Sun sometimes, what I've learned, can be who we are aspiring to be, and other times what I've also heard is who we think we are. Now, also the Sun can deal with the father or that dominant masculine role in your life, or just masculines in general. So the 8th house overall does deal with everything that is hidden. It's the occult. It is going to be anything to do with sex, death, rebirth, joint finances, and taxes as well. So it's a merging of the energies. The 8th house absolutely is intense, and it is that hidden energy. When you have the Sun, which is supposed to be shining, it is that shining light. You now have it in the 8th house. The Sun is a little bit more hidden. So it could be something here that took place in the earlier part of your lives where you guys were not seen. That's the whole thing here, especially when we look at Leo in the 8th house as well. The energy desperately wants to be seen. It wants to be out there, but it is hidden. The 8th house does tend to hide it. So this could have been for a few different reasons. Maybe the parents were busy. Maybe you guys weren't accepted for who you guys were. Maybe you guys weren't able to shine. Maybe you guys weren't allowed to shine. I know a lot of the time the 8th house can deal with darkness as well, a lot of intensity, maybe even trauma. So because the Sun does deal with the father, when you guys were younger, maybe there was something that was taking place within the home that was very intense or tumultuous, or just like something to do with the father that was maybe very intense. Sometimes Sun in the 8th house individuals can have an emotionally unavailable father. So maybe there's this whole energy here where it's like you guys are unconsciously trying to get the emotions out of the father, and then in turn the dominant masculine role in your lives, and then so on and so forth through those masculines in your lives. Maybe you guys attract, or a lot of the time these days I'm trying to stay away from you guys are attracting, because that's something in the new age these days with astrology. I just find that the energy is in your natal chart, so it's just like the energy that's there whether you guys are doing something or not. So for you guys, the energy that might just overall be attracted to you could just be people who are overall emotionally unavailable, and you guys might be unconsciously seeking these people out as well because of something to do with the father. Now with the Sun in the 8th, what's interesting about the father as well is sometimes with that 8th house energy you tend to find something out later on in life about this person that like changes your whole perception of this individual, or maybe finally things make sense, maybe something that this individual was hiding. A lot of the time, because it is the 8th house, it might be something that's more so like in the darkness aspect of things. It could be something to do maybe even with crime or just like secrecy within the family. Maybe the father had an addiction. Again, it could be father or dominant masculine role in your life. Maybe there's something here that it's like you guys didn't really see what was going on, but maybe you guys felt like something was off, because a lot of the time that 8th house energy is super intuitive. You guys are super connected to your emotions if you so choose to be, because in turn sometimes also what might happen with this energy is because of the overwhelming energy of emotions and maybe circumstances and things that have taken place to you guys might also become emotionally unavailable. So that's the whole thing that's taking place here with this energy. So it's like you guys are really going to have to take the time to figure out what is going on with your emotions, what took place, what is whose energy around you. You guys may have absorbed people's energy. Now it depends on the rest of the energies in your natal chart, because the 8th house can also be super clairsentient. They can be even a medium as well. You guys might have mediumship abilities as well. But the only way you guys can get in tune with those psychic gifts and abilities is after you guys clear out all of the lower vibrational emotions and things that have taken place, the traumatic experiences or anything that could be holding you guys in those lower chakras. I have a bunch of videos on this channel where I do speak on getting in tune with your psychic gifts and abilities, and it's like with psychic gifts and abilities, the person is open, and a lot of the time you're open because of something that took place that put you guys into a cognitive dissonant state, usually at an early age with some form of traumatic event where the external experience wasn't validating your internal experience. Maybe you guys spent a lot of time in fear, for example, when you guys were younger, and you guys spent a lot of time out of body, and now in turn you guys know how to leave your body energetically. But like when people are not integrated within themselves, or they're just like in the lower vibrations or like the lower vibrational emotions, because the thing is everything with vibrations and energy in general deals with your emotions. It's all connected to your emotions. So it's like where you guys are vibrating at depends on your emotional standpoint is really what that is. So if you guys are in those lower chakras, anything to do with like anger or fear or guilt or shame, you guys are being pulled down into the lower chakras. And then if you're energetically open, aka psychic, you guys might go into paranoia, for example, or all of those lower vibrational emotions. But after you guys heal and integrate all of these things and experiences, you guys are able to go into the higher chakras, which are love, acceptance, peace, gratitude, all of these wonderful emotions. And then you guys can start getting in tune with your psychic gifts and abilities. But overall, whether you guys are in tune with it or not, you guys probably still have an awareness awareness, at least to you guys, where it's like you guys are able to maybe read people really well or pick up on emotions. Usually it deals with emotions because it is the sun. Maybe there's something here where it's like maybe the father wasn't stable, for example, so you guys always had to gauge this individual's emotions to see what was going on. Is he in a good mood? Is he in a bad mood? It could be this, and that's how you guys become very, very good at basically seeing this on other people as well with the sun in the 8th house energy. Now, because it does deal with your own ego and being seen, eventually you guys might create a lot of your ego and your identity. It depends which direction the energy goes in, because it's like sometimes people go into just like the lower vibrations of life. It's not like a hierarchical thing. Sometimes you can't really go into the higher vibrations if like someone hasn't shown you the other side or you don't know any different. But sometimes people just go into like darkness or just like very, very low vibrational emotions, or just like they're upset and they kind of create like an ego and identity through that, because it is sun in the 8th house. Like it could be this, but the divine version of this, it is that healer energy is really, really what that is, because it is your sun. You guys could create a lot of your ego and your identity through that as well. So it depends is really, really what that is. I know sometimes when people hear ego, they think it's like a negative thing, especially in the new age. Everyone talks about absolving the ego and so on and so forth. The thing is, you need an ego to operate down here on this earth plane, but you just want to have a healthy ego. And it's like in terms of having a healthy ego, and I'm pretty sure this is why they sometimes say with the sun is who we think we are, because sometimes people create their ego and identity on external things, and then it's like when those things aren't there, they might not necessarily know who they are inside. So just spending a lot of time to figure out who you guys truly, truly are, because that solar plexus chakra can also put a lot of their self-worth on these things as well. So for example, let's say you guys go into like the healer role, or like you're trying to be of service in this way, or like helping people in one way, shape, or form. Let's say you guys create a lot of your ego and identity through this. Well, if you guys aren't able to fulfill that, you guys might then take a hit to your solar plexus, take a hit to your self-worth. So that's the whole tricks of the trade, I would say, with ego in general, is to just like get to the point of self-love where it's like your self-worth isn't contingent upon the external things or people around you to validate you in that way. So for you guys, it's like, because it's the sun in the 8th, you guys might literally feel like you don't exist in one way, shape, or form if somebody does not validate you, because it is so hidden and you guys might have gotten so used to not being seen. So it's like, if you guys know this about yourselves, like trying to come out of your shell in one way, shape, or form. So this is what I mean. Like sometimes the ego can be created through like not being seen, and you kind of get used to just that energy and you're like, oh, this is who I am. And then you might go into like low self-worth or something of that sort. But it's like, if you know this about yourself, you can change that. Do you know what I mean? Like putting yourself out there. Maybe you guys want to do something like creative in terms of like public speaking, because that Leo in the 8th, what I've noticed with this energy is like they want to be seen creatively, but they're hidden. But there's like that deep desire to still be seen. So figuring out ways that you guys can be seen and coming out of your shell and coming out of that, again, ego or identity that you guys have maybe created through hiding, for example, kind of bringing yourselves to the surface. Because the thing is, at the end of the day, with this earth plane, no one's really going to do anything for you. You guys have to do it for yourself. So this is why astrology is great, because we can learn about ourselves, about our light side, our shadow side, and integrate all of these energies within us to be in that full self alignment. Because sometimes I see a natal chart as a potential as well, and not everyone lives into that full potential, because you could have certain shadow traits that are holding you back. So obviously that's going to be different for different people. For you guys with the sun in the 8th house, you guys are going to have to figure out how to be seen. But with all that being said, for you guys, like the divine version of this, or just like things that you guys might be super interested in, it could be like astrology, the occult, hidden things. So maybe you guys will create, again, a lot of your identity through this, and maybe you guys will be seen in this way, where you guys maybe share about astrology or just like esoteric topics, or like you talk about the occult, for example, or like hidden things, or in general, it could be like true crime, for example. So sun in the 8th house is definitely going to have interest in all of these things and kind of uncovering things. That's the thing with the 8th house. It's like, the 8th house, basically karma, deals with like the subtleties of energy is really what that is. And also a whole other thing that could be taking place here as well is like you guys are basically mastering, learning manipulation, not just for yourselves. Like in the shadow, yes, you guys can become very manipulative, you guys can become controlling, and so on and so forth. But it's like that 8th house deals with like your power being taken away from you in an area, and then eventually you guys try to constantly have your power not be taken away in that area. So that's kind of how this energy goes into like constantly being controlling or possessive or manipulative, because it's like at some point in the earlier part of your life, once again, it could be the father or just like that dominant masculine role in your life could have been very manipulative or controlling, or just like very much had that energetic grip on you guys. It's hard to explain. It's more so like an energetic thing, especially with like the 8th house, because it's so covert and it's so hidden. Sometimes you don't realize that the other person is like trying to hold on to you for dear life with that energy, or just like very covertly holding on to you, because that 8th house can be super, super hidden. It can be super sneaky, can be super manipulative. So it's like this could have taken place with you when you were younger, and then you guys can become like this later on in life. And eventually you guys want to neutralize somewhere in the middle, because it's like the people, or just like people who are in that masculine role, obviously depends on the rest of the energies in your natal chart, but still well, these people could be playing out these energies towards you where they're trying to control you or manipulate you or possess you. And a lot of the time, this also, other than the powerlessness aspect of it, a lot of it also comes from the fear of abandonment as well. So with the sun in the 8th, there could have been a huge rejection of the self or just like abandonment of the self is really what that is, to the point where it's like you guys might not really even know who you are, or it's like maybe you guys like have created your identity through even like coping mechanisms as well. Like this energy, when it's like super in the shadows, sometimes when I encounter people who have an energy of this sort, it's like this person is like so much in the fear energy aspect of things where they weren't fully able to express who they were, that it's like they've developed like even like lying habits or something of the sort. Obviously this isn't going to be for all of you guys, but I'm just kind of speaking of like the super unhealed version of this energy where it's like the person wasn't accepted at all for being who they are, so they've kind of learned to hide who they actually are. And at that point, you've hidden who you are for so long that you don't even know who you are. Do you know what I mean? And then at that point, it's like a lot of your personality and identity could be created through a lot of these like coping mechanisms. So it's like, let's say it could be like lying or like living a double life or like showing one face or like hiding parts of yourself. So that's all of like the lower aspects of this energy. If you guys do find yourselves in this energy, it's probably because you guys weren't accepted at a young age, or there could have just been a lot of fear, for example, to express who you guys are. Maybe just like a lot of expectations of who you guys are. Like let's say the father figure or that dominant masculine role was like really intense with their expectations of you, or maybe again, you grew up in a lot of fear, something of the sort is kind of the energy here. So it's like to break free from that and to break out of that, the only way to do that is to reconnect with who you guys actually are at the core and start expressing it outward is really what that is. And I feel like the more that you guys do that, you'll be more accepted for who you guys truly are, and the people around you that don't align with you anymore are going to slowly fall off, and you're going to basically attract certain people and individuals into your life that are on that same frequency as you guys. Really the whole thing here. So that's the whole thing with the sun in the 8th house. A lot of it does deal with like the loss of the self or loss of the sense of self, not knowing who you are, maybe at an early age, like fearing expressing who you guys truly are, and like breaking free and breaking out of that to express who you guys actually are, which ultimately at the end of the day, this energy is that healing energy. So because you guys have a lot of healing energy connected to you always with the 8th house, you guys might attract a lot of characters into your life, which could be a lot of dark people, people who need a lot of healing as well. So it's like you guys are gonna also have to develop discernment as well. But it's like, this is how we heal is really what that is as you go through the chakras and you go into those higher chakras, and eventually you start to activate that heart space and you start to live life really for the self is really what that is. So the ultimate potential of this energy is the healer, is really what that is. It's the alchemist. You've transmuted a lot of this lower vibrational energy within the self, the lower vibrational emotions, the fear, the shame, the guilt, all of these things that could have been holding you guys back really from fully being seen is really what that is. So it's really this. Eventually you guys might go into the healing arts or just be an energy worker of some sort. In general, you guys could be helping people transform or just like overcome certain things. Maybe you guys went through a specific thing, because you guys are speaking on it, you're shining the light on that particular event or experience. You're now helping others shine their light maybe on that particular experience if they went through the same thing as you guys. So that's the whole thing here. And its ultimate potential, definitely the healer, the alchemist, the transformer of energy, like transmuting energy. It could even be in the world of finances as well, because the 8th house can deal with other people's money and other people's resources as well. Maybe you guys are, let's say, a financial advisor. Let's say you guys overcome something intense in your upbringing in terms of money. Like let's say the father maybe hid money or was a gambler or like struggled with money, or maybe it was a positive energy of this where it's like the father taught you guys how to manage your money and how to invest and how to transform your financial status. So with all that being said, I'm going to wrap up this video here on sun in the 8th house. I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please do like, share, and subscribe, and I hope you all have a beautiful rest of the day.